Welcome to Fabrity Talks podcast, where we explore software development, generative AI, industrial IoT, and data engineering. Our goal is to provide IT executives with practical business insights that can be seamlessly put into practice in their organizations. You can listen to every episode of our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, and YouTube. If you want to know more about what we do, visit our website at fabrity.com. Now, let's get started.
Welcome to the new episode of the Fabrity Talks podcast. I'm Bartosz Michałowski from Fabrity. My job is all about making sure our clients' projects start smoothly. Today, I'm joined by Piotr Wiśniewski, PhD, co-founder of DBR77 Robotics Platform, Harvard Business School graduate, lecturer, and expert of the ICANN Institute. For many years, Piotr managed automotive component manufacturing plants. Now, he assists manufacturing companies in robotizing production processes, paving the way for digital transformation in the industry. Hi, Piotr. I'm very happy that you decided to join our podcast.
Bartosz, hi, I'm so happy for having me in that podcast, and I really do hope we'll have very nice and productive chat.
Great. So, let's start with sketching a bigger picture of and let's try to explain what digital transformation means in the industrial context.
Oh, it's a great question because probably absolutely everyone now speaks about digital transformation. When you check on the LinkedIn accounts, you will see that more than 100,000 Polish people are expert in digital transformation. So yeah, I don't know how is it possible. I checked that couple years ago, and I asked how many coaches we had in Poland, and we had like 60,000. So we have more specialists in digital transformation than coaches nowadays. So yeah, I'm really happy of that. What it means, it's very often this question is this is a marketing slang or really something new, which is going on the world, and I personally believe that this is really something. It's not only the buzzword. Yeah, the key point is that finally we can collect the data, we can understand those data much better, we can use them in the critical decisions which we have to do in all our lives, and of course in the manufacturing also. I know that we'll speak much more about data, yeah, but it's very, very, very important to start with the understanding that nowadays this is exactly that moment, yeah, when we can understand our words much better. But
Yes.
this is a mistake when somebody thinks that digital transformation is about technology. It is not.
Why? Why is it?
It's mainly about our culture. This is about our business models. This is about products which we can deliver. I generally believe that we can recognize huge mega trends, actually three of them. And only one is technology. Second one is new business ways, how we can deliver solutions for our clients. And finally, there's a huge mega trends, which I called social mega trends. Yeah, because at the end of the day, all technology and products which we can acquire change our life. So digital transformation for me is everything which will change our way of thinking, but also the quality of our life.
It is, but what, in your opinion, is the role of leaders in laying the foundation of digital transformation?
This is truly great question because very often when I deliver lectures about digital transformation, the final conclusion is that all of that changes they are in the hands of leadership, of leaders generally, and leadership teams in the organization. Because when we start to think about any kind of transition, any kind of change, I don't know if you remember 8 steps Kotter's change management methodology. And as you remember, the last point was change the culture. Yeah, you have to acquire all of that things which should be changed, change your way how you proceed in the organization, and finally you have to change the culture. Honestly, I believe that digital transformation starts with the change of culture. Yeah, because if we are as we were closed as the organization, as we still use the methodology which we used in the past in our organization, we will be in the same place. So we have to change something. And the first thing which we have to change, there are the mindset of leaders, because those are those people who will decide that will change our culture, our procedures, our approach to the market, our relation with others around us to make the company much open than for changes that the company were. So generally, I believe that leaders should be those people who will trigger that change. So as you can see, this is not easy. And especially, I'm 47. Yeah, I'm not the youngest person in my organization. Yeah, so and I'm the leader also. So I know that it's so critical for me to change my way of thinking, yeah, about business and technology and organization and all of that stuff. So our role, as you asking the question, is to be a driver, yeah, of the change.
Yeah. You have mentioned there's plenty of experts that are claiming they have experience in digital transformation and Industry 4.0. But what's the reality from your perspective? Is there many people that they can be leaders for digital transformation?
It's a good question, but I don't know how honest I should be in the answer. Yeah?
Be honest.
Yeah, I will try to answer in that question a little bit tricky way. Yeah, the question is, if you, generally people, if you spend a lot of time to acquire new knowledge, really try to understand what's going on with the technology, how did the technology impact us. You can measure that by number of books which you can read, which you did read, yeah, or
Yeah.
number of courses which you did last couple years. That's probably the best indicator if you are really the specialist in that story or not, because there's a lot of new knowledge which we have to find. Yeah,
Yeah.
I graduated my university 24 years ago. Yeah, and I remember when I started my PhD course, it was opening session, and our dean said, "Guys, if you graduated your school 10 years or more before that moment, probably you should forgot that you are even graduated." We were really upset. Yeah. And now I understand it, yeah, that the things and the words change so quickly that things which we were able to understand 10 years ago are useless now. So, yeah, and now I try to answer for your question. How many people really, from that 100,000 specialists in Poland, how many people really acquire new knowledge last 5 years? I can guess that not so many, unfortunately.
Okay, I understand. Right. So let's go more into details and discuss the role of data in digital transformation. Can we state that thesis that digital transformation in essence is all about data and taking data-driven decisions?
Yeah, as I said at the very beginning, data is a trigger of that change. I love to be back to 1963 when Moore's law was announced, and as you probably remember, that law says that every 2 years the computation power will grow by 100%, and the computing cost will be dropped by half. And from that moment, computing power really was growing so quickly, and the same number of data. Yeah, I love the sentence which was presented by IBM some years ago that according to their data, 90% of data which we currently have was collected last 2 years. So it shows us how the huge number of information are knocking to our doors. And of course, the question is if we are able to use them. And of course, the question if we understand all of the data. But anyway, the data which we currently can collect and connect with the real world is absolutely amazing. Yeah, we can speak about many things, but we are here in the discussion about manufacturing. And when we look at our business, and now you can easily see that you can collect data about machines, about people, about all kind of processes in details. Yeah, and for example, 10 data points per second for any kind of machine, then you can really understand how perfectly and accurately you can understand what's going on around us. So really, I believe that data is that driven, and of course, not only data, yeah, because based on data, we can build algorithms, and that at the end of the day, those algorithms are what we are looking for. You can acquire a lot of data, you can have a lot of numbers, and still you are not smarter. Yeah, you are smarter when you can drive good conclusions from those data. And there are algorithms. Yeah. So at the end of the day, we speak about algorithms. But of course, it started with that huge data lake, which we currently can take from any kind of processes.
Yeah. Okay. So we have some theoretical foundation now, but I'd like to talk more about the practical side. So could you share with us what are the tools that you can use to put this approach into practice?
Yeah, I will tell you probably about two tools. All of us, absolutely all of us, we heard so many about IoT, industrial IoT, and digital twin. Of course, I would love to speak about digital twin. This is the product which we
No, of
try to
course.
put on the market. I will surprise you because we had to develop our IoT also. Yeah, so I will tell you the story briefly.
Okay.
What's the purpose of such tools, and what can be the output of using such tools? IoT. Everyone knows that name. Absolutely everyone. And when you ask people on the street what IoT means, that usually try to answer that how you connect your TV with your fridge, or you have your iPhone which collect data about you, and this is IoT, or IoT of houses. Yeah. But that was the beginning of the story like 10 years ago. Now we can say that mostly IoT should be used in industries like manufacturing or logistics or health, when you are able to collect truly a lot of data. When I say a lot of data, let's imagine that you can understand and know perfectly which operator was where every single second over the shift. Or you can
Second, really?
second, yeah,
Oh my God.
where he was located, what was his job. Or the same, you can collect data about machines, when they are working, when they are stopped, why they are stopped, what was the reason why they were stopped. Or probably it was the reason why the machine was stopped was lack of material. So you can collect data why you face such issue like lack of material. So in the last 10 years, it's changed a lot. I mean, the technology nowadays is really available from the cost perspective, of course, and then you can place all kind of sensors on almost every kind of object which you can have in a manufacturing or logistic area. So first of all,
Okay.
this is IoT. But of course, as I said before, this is not so much important if you collect data until you are not able to use those data. Yeah? So this is the digital twin. And digital twin, this is another probably buzzword which so many people use over there nowadays. In our understanding and our product, we are so much focused on manufacturing. Digital twin is a virtual and mathematical representation of the real world, and what is very important, graphical and mathematical. Yeah, so we present
Okay.
digital words in the 3D objects, of course, so you can find them people, machines, and everything which is in the plant. And of course, and mostly probably, we do all maths, which is behind, let's call it like that. Yeah, we need to understand why and how objects act, and also what are relations between objects. Yeah, so for example, when machine is stopped, why the machine is stopped. When people do something, why they do something. And can you imagine that you make a realistic view, virtual view of the real way? But what's the key point? You can measure absolutely everything what is there, yeah? And this is a whole beginning of simulation and visualization. Let's start with visualization.
Yeah. So you are transforming processes into some mathematical equation to have a very accurate representation of everything that is happening in the factory.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I said that we
Okay.
have virtual part. You can
Okay.
go inside. Can you imagine that we have also VR and AR? So when you have VR option on your plant, you can just simply go inside and check
Really?
absolutely everything. Yeah.
Okay.
And that visualization is great when you wanna build another factory, for example, or if you wanna change your factory. You are thinking about changing on your layout. You wanna move some production line and you're not sure if this is right or wrong decision. Then you can make a visualization in the digital twin on your, new factory. Put yourself in the virtual reality, and this is absolutely amazing stuff.
Okay.
But
But I need to ask the question: how accurate the model can be?
okay, this is great question because generally there are two possibilities. We are fan of one of them. One possibility is that you have 3D models which you generated from CAD models. So we are
Okay.
asking our clients, our partners, please deliver to us if you have any kind of 3D models. When you design your machine, when you design your stuff, of course you have some models. Then we try to make them 3D models, which are well prepared for, with all kind of texture and colors and so on and so on. So we can do it by 3D models. Have you ever played the Sims game? Do you know the Sims game?
I did.
So
Mhm.
can you imagine that we did Sims for industry? Yeah, and this is such way you can take components from the shelf, place them on your floor, and they are there. This is one option. Second option is that you can use some cameras on drones, on put them on the factory and try to record them, and based on that way create the visualization. It is not right solution right now because still that models which are generated in that way are huge, and unfortunately our computers are not able to deal with them. Yeah, you can place one of two or three 3D models and then your computer is generally blocked. Yeah, so this is the reason why we decided to place 3D models, like as I said, in the game, and it works pretty well.
You have mentioned that you're able to monitor and analyze every second. So I'm thinking that it seems that implementing a digital twin in manufacturing company requires quite of substantial change in the organization culture because people, the workers need to be open to be monitored. Do you agree?
Yeah, of course, this is a huge change, and you touched, in fact, 2 points. Yeah, nobody wanna be monitored. We as a
Exactly.
human, we don't wanna be, and the same on the factory floor, the same in the offices. Yeah, nobody really wanna be monitored. Of course, on the production floor, we do a lot of analysis, and when you look at standard operation procedures, which is a true beginning of lean manufacturing 40 years ago, we had to calculate times, we target number of operations. So at the end of the day, they well calculated, they well measured anyhow. Nobody
Okay.
really
Mhm.
like it. That's true, but yeah, we are able to convince them. The problem is different. The problem is the technology is still very, very on the very early stage. Yeah, so if we want to collect the data about the localization, the technology is crazy expensive still. So
Okay.
more often we use different ways to understand what's going on, and we are focused mainly on the production stages when we are able to collect absolutely every kind of data. Yeah. Then we know where people are located when they are there, but when they are leaving the station, we have to guess where they are. Yeah. So digital twin in that respect is even more complicated than we can expect. But what is very important generally is that, and probably I will surprise you, we till now had like 40 clients with our digital twin. Only 3 times we had the cases when clients had any kind of data. So
Oh, okay.
it is surprise for me because all of us we speak about industrial 4.0, industrial 5.0. As you mentioned at the beginning, I came from automotive, and in automotive is really very well organized. Not because we were so much smart. We deliver directly on all car makers' lines, so they push us to have such kind of technology. But generally now
Interesting.
I'm a little bit surprised because almost nobody, no companies know perfectly what is the standard time, what is deviation from standard time, what is the true real OE, and so on and so on. So
Really?
before we will, yeah, really, before we'll go with digital twin, we have to collect basic data and try to believe in the data which we collect.
Okay, so I know that you have a global experience, but I'm very interested in the situation in the Polish manufacturing industry when it comes to the digital transformation. So, where we are on the path towards Industry 4.0 here in Poland?
It's a good question, and probably the answer will be a little bit surprised. We believe that we are very far,
Okay, but it's
but
it's only a belief.
yeah, couple years ago, like 2 years ago, we developed the survey when we can measure where we are with processes, when we are with business models, how we deal with data, where we are with cybersecurity, and also try to measure what is the, let's say, digital culture. And we are able with our clients to measure where we are, which is generally good because based on that we can also find answer for questions what we can do in next stages. Yeah, so very often when I start with my clients, we ask, okay, let's do that. What is your guess? What will be your score? And our system is from 1 up to 7. So normally, clients guess that they will be like 6, 6.5. Then we end up like 2.1. And they're a little bit upset. But this is not right approach, because when we see that we are 2.1, it seems that we can do a lot of things. Yeah. So as you can see, 5 years ago, everyone, of course, in brackets, didn't know so much what is Industry 4.0. We started such discussion. We didn't so many investments, and now we believe that we are Industry 4.0. No, we have to do that way. Yeah, we really need to work there, which is good for us, because when you look currently on our businesses in Poland, we can openly state that unfortunately we are losing our competitiveness against other markets. Yeah, as you can look around, you will see how many companies are slowing down or even closing right now. Why? Because we didn't really focus so much on the digital transformation, and this is probably the way how we can be once again competitive, like other players around the world do right now.
Okay. But you're the person who likes to share your knowledge, and you have also recently published a book on digital transformation. I was invited by you to, as a first reader, and thank you. To be honest, it's a very a long book. I'm in the middle of it, and I'd like to ask you to tell us more about it.
First of all, thank you so much that you agreed to be one of the first reviewer of the book. Indeed, this is 400 pages. Yeah, sorry for that. Sorry, Bartosz. That when you are working on the book, you constantly want to add something, yeah, because you don't feel that the book is finished, and probably it would be much better if I've cut that book for two pieces, not only one. So yeah, sorry for that. How that story happened, I'm not a book writer, not at all. I'm a lecturer also, so I deliver lectures on MBAs about digital transformation. I do that last 4 years, so I started during COVID time. And then I understood that this is so crucial for all of us. Probably you remember when you were on a high school, every teacher said my subject is the most important part. Yeah, so
Exactly.
yeah, I'm such guy. I truly believe that digital transformation should be the point number one, because it's changed absolutely everything. How we lead our organization, how we create our strategy, how we operate daily with our teams, and so on and so on. So truly, we should be focused on the change. Digital transformation, in my case, is digital pathfinder. So the question how we can find the right way. You can find my book on the Amazon. It's only in English version, but I truly believe that everyone who is interested about digital transformation knows English, so I will
Yeah.
not translate it into Polish. And
And it's written in easy to understand language. So
yeah, so I invite everyone for reading this book. I start with the first chapter, why we need to change. And if somebody, I truly love it when somebody tell me, digital transformation is not for me. After first chapter, absolutely everyone knows that it is for all of us. The second chapter is in huge details how the world changed, how the process should be changed in the organization, how to create a digital product, how to create business models. And even if you don't want to produce such products, or really you don't want to start a marketplace, you should understand that all of us, we are in that complex environment, and we will be part of such change. And the last third chapter is about how to do that change. Yeah, in details, how to we as the leaders, how we should change, how we can proceed the change in the organization, and how we can create a map for our organization in the very holistic approach. So yeah, I do believe that was good job done, and I do believe people will read it.
yeah, exactly. Okay, Piotr, let's try to summarize our discussion. What are the main takeaways you would like to give to leaders about digital transformation?
If you don't mind, I will tell three things. First of all, change starts with leaders. When company decide to hire consultant and they will do the digital transformation, they can help. For sure, they will not do the job which should be done by leader. All of the change starts with leaders. Second point, digital twins or technology like that, especially for manufacturers, there is a great accelerator. Yeah, because when you decide to go with such technology, you have to look around you, ask if the data which you acquired till now is enough, what can be done differently in the organization, when you can find improvements, where you can implement robots, for example. So digital twin can be great accelerator. That's the second point. And the third takeaway, we should forget that we are very well prepared. Yeah, we should
Not
learn
rep-
all our life. And podcasts like that, and generally podcasts, I truly love. I spend like 2 hours a day, when I'm exercising, when I'm traveling, when I'm working with the stuff. I listen a lot of podcasts. This is really great source of knowledge. But generally, we as a leaders and we as experts, we should remember that all our life we have to learn and collect data and of course acquire knowledge.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Okay, that's all we have for you today. Piotr, really, thank you for sharing your industrial expertise with us.
Thank you, Bartosz.
If you have any questions or you would like to learn more about Industry 4.0 or how digital twins can help digitize your production processes, please don't hesitate to reach out. Our email addresses are listed in the episode description. Thank you very much. Bye.
Fabrity specializes in bespoke software development, generative AI, industrial IoT, and data engineering. We build complex solutions for enterprise clients to automate processes, boost efficiency, reduce downtime, and enhance decision-making through effective data analysis. If you have a software project in mind or any questions, feel free to reach out at sales@fabrity.com. And if you have a topic you'd like us to cover or want to join the conversation on Fabrity Talks, we'd love to hear from you. Thanks for listening, and until next time.